Hugh, we started this, November, talking about Mike Trout, fishing.
Trout fishing, trading for trout.
Phillies didn't listen.
Mm-mm.
Because you know what it's time for?
What's
it's
that?
time for a new movement.
Why?
Well, what? Have you watched Rojas hit?
I'm not.
I forgot who we're talking to.
No, I know. Yeah, that's why we had to welcome in Jack.
We couldn't even introduce you.
because I remember Friday. The whole
I'm just saying.
Rojas is your breakout player.
No, I'm just saying. He give him. Listen.
Give him how much time?
Wait, can I?
Can he get a hit?
First of all, before y'all jump all over me, can I at least have a moment? Like, I know that today I don't have a leg to stand on. And most Philly fans, when I say this, are going to tell me to get off the air because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're only, 4 games in, man? Come on.
4 games in?
Yeah.
He didn't hit in spring training, didn't hit in October. The clock's ticking.
No, and it's funny because the last caller when they brought up, like it's when it rains, it pours. And the fact that you bring up his last at-bat in Arizona when Arizona was here, compound that with the era in base running or base stealing, I should say, last night. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in, but
been a cold start.
Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's true. It is. And Hugh, we gave the Phillies, we all did. We gave them grace, right? Because we asked them to go get trout. We wanted to go trout fishing, Jack. They didn't listen. So now it's time to twist this thing around. Well, I'm not relying on the Phillies to go make the move anymore.
I know you like.
It's time to put the onus on Mike Trout. It's time, Jack, for Mike Trout to ask out. Ask out Trout.
Can't you just hear it right now?
It's time for Mike Trout to ask out.
It's time for him to demand a trade.
Hashtag ask out Trout?
Yes.
Ask out Trout. It's time. Like, listen, again, you have Johan Rojas, who I don't know if he can play.
I know he can't hit.
He can't hit.
Yesterday was a bad one.
Most likely can't hit. You're telling me that they have a chance. By the way, Trout looks healthy. I mean, hit a ball 400.
Did you see that bomb last night?
473 feet last night.
The fact that he said it, because you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy.
But he looks healthy now. We're living in today.
We're living in today.
Okay, you're right.
And he said 6 weeks ago, I want the Angels, go out and get us a free agent.
Be aggressive.
Let's not punt the season. And they didn't listen to him. So now he feels betrayed by his own organization, and it's the right thing to do. And does he really want to stay there and waste the rest of his career? It would be the biggest waste of one of the best players in the history of baseball we've ever seen.
It would be. I mean,
everyone's had a moment. Even Bonds had one run.
He did. And Mike Trout has never won a playoff game. He could be the missing piece here. And if Mike Trout wants to be, he's going to be forgotten in his own era. All these other stars have more October success. It's time for Mike Trout to ask out. And obviously, if he asks out, Jack, we were talking about last segment. Someone called in and said, not happy they didn't do much this offseason. They tried. They offered Yamamoto all that money, which means they're keeping the powder dry for Mike Trout.
And if you were in the ballpark over the weekend, they've pretty much sold every inch of it. Yeah,
I know.
There's ads everywhere. They're going to get ads on the jerseys.
Get me Mike Trout, and that's okay.
That's right. And I don't know where else he goes. The Yankees have Soto. And they're probably going to pay him. I know that hurts your soul. You can't do the Soto trade this year. Mets probably aren't ready yet because they're maybe a couple years away.
Cubs probably aren't ready.
Cardinals have a lot of money tied up to 2 players, in Arenado and Goldschmidt.
They might stink anyway.
And I don't know where else he goes. And he could be the missing piece here. Now, hopefully, the Angels would do right by Mike Trout and say, okay, we'll send you where you want to go. Mike Trout has a no-trade clause. Hopefully he chooses here. If he doesn't, he's a traitor to the city. And they would pay down some of the salary because the salary obviously matters here. They're entering in that third luxury tax. Yep. You might have to give a better prospect to do it. But, it's the time. What are you going to do? Wait for a couple of years from now to see if Rojas is good?
Now's the time. And you know what? The Phillies might need this more than we think they need it. They just look like they're missing one more player in that outfield because Rojas is not it. And I like Merrifield, but maybe at this point he's better to play 3 times a week rather than every day. Hugh, this is the time. We got to start putting pressure here.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
As a fan base on Mike Trout.
I hear what you're say're saying, but when I look at the woes of the Phillies from these last 4 games, and it's only a 4-game stretch.
Yeah.
How many has Bryce Harper hit?
0.
So far?
0.
Like you're talking about, and I understand he's a liability right now, and it's a learning curve that has to be, he has to work on that. But still, man, you're putting a lot of pressure on the guy. And when you look throughout the order, it ain't like they're lighting it up right now.
No, they're not.
They're not lighting it up. They haven't been hitting since spring training. So it's one of those things. I understand what you're saying, and we like the fact that Trout's from around here and he's an Eagles fan and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Get a young man a chance, though, man.
Nope.
It's too important. It's way too important. I appreciate the optimism because he can defend and there's a valuable player in there. But he also wasn't a great hitter in the minor leagues.
And he skipped AAA. I also go to this, Hugh.
And he can't see spin, Hugh. If you can't see spin, you can't last the big league level.
Speaking of spin, been working on mine.
Or
spin classes.
I don't like.
What's more likely, Trout asks out or Hugh goes to a
spin.
spin class?
I've been to a spin class.
I can see you being a spin
You know
guy.
what's funny?
Well, when was this?
Dorsey Levens, the old running back.
He does spin class?
Can we have Dorsey Levens on this team?
He's a spin coach. I swear to God.
So I can go take a Dorsey Levens-led
Dorsey
spin
Levens is a spin coach. Why you find that so hard to believe? Like I'm not lying.
Because he was a kind of a chunky running back.
No, he's not anymore.
No?
Dorsey is a spin coach, and he's on the bike. And I used to go to his spin classes all the time. Especially during social distancing, he was spinning outside.
Yeah, I just never thought of Dorsey. Like when you asked me to think of a spin class teacher in your head, Joe.
I mean,
Dorsey Levens.
This sounds like a future Hughes Clues.
I know.
No, I'm saying it's
yeah.
a Dorsey Levens.
Hold that one. That's a good. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
this guy just
All
a
right,
spin
so
teacher.
Here's the question, Jack. How do we do this? Like we could say it here. We need to start a movement to get Mike Trout to ask out of the Angels. That's probably how this goes. He's got to go to them and say, "I need to get out of here."
And by the way, that feels like it's next.
Well, did you see they had a team meeting after their second game of the season? That's how bad the Angels are.
Yeah, which is a problem.
And the one thing that I have heard from him over the last couple of weeks is that he's been real critical.
Yeah.
Of the team, and that's something that he's never been before. Because it was like the one thing that I heard about him before, when they were potentially talking about trading him, is how fiercely loyal he is to the Angels. Doesn't
Correct.
sound like that's the case anymore.
Well, I think he just is looking at the situation. Like, do I really want to stay here? I mean, the Angels are about to head into their, I don't know, their $1.3 million build. It feels like
Terrible.
They should have signed Blake Snell,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't sign Blake Snell. Like, they should have made some moves to kind of appease Trout after you lose a guy like Shohei Ohtani, and they haven't done it. And it's on Mike now to be like, all right, it's time. I've given a lot to this franchise. I'm entering into my mid-30s. I have no real playoff moments. I have the chance to return home. I have a chance to go back to Philadelphia. I have a chance to be the missing piece. I have a chance to, reshape my own legacy. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
I know,
here.
and I believe if he's available, if he actually asks out and they say, okay, we'll trade you, the Phillies will be in on this. I believe that. It's one thing.
I totally agree.
It's one thing for the Phillies to just run it back because Mike Trout wasn't available or they couldn't get Yamamoto. But if Mike Trout's out there, there's no way Dombrowski's going to sit there and watch Mike Trout go to a different team.
Imagine the text Harper's sending. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, the recruiting from Harper. He started this when he signed. I mean, on with John and Ike down in Clearwater.
Yes.
He said, if you don't think I'm going to call Mike Trout and see if he wants to come here in 2 years, you're crazy.
I think he got in trouble for that by
He
baseball.
did get in trouble for it. And once again, WIP doing important things. I just ask out Trout. Obviously you could tweet at him, but this comes at the ballpark level. Now they don't come here, right? They Phillies go to Los Angeles
at the end of this month, I think.
At the end of this month. So I think at some point we got to do a fan movement of getting fans somewhere
close to here.
Semi-close to here, and really make this known that we want you here, Mike. It's time to ask out.
I'm in on this movement. It's time to get Mike Trout to ask out.
If he stays healthy.
Yeah, but we can't control that. We can control bullying him into doing
How
this.
many full seasons has Mike Trout played? I mean, and I like Mike Trout, but how many full seasons
Well,
has he
in the
played?
last handful of years, not that many.
Okay.
He played a lot in the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
That's how he became this all-time great player.
I'll take him with one arm over what we currently have in center field.
I know I don't have a leg to stand on when I say that, but I still believe in my man Rojas. I still believe.
Who would hit better with one arm? Trout or Trout with one arm or Rojas?
Don't do that.
I'm
Don't
just
do that.
asking.
Don't do that.
All right,
Then
Hugh, we're going to convince you on this, and everybody else.
You brought your boy in here to co-sign for you.
Ask out Trout.
Ask out Trout.
Ask out Trout.
Can you hear it? You can hear it. I need the whole park to be chanting this.
Come on, we went down to Bryce's first game in
Yep.
Washington. That was a memorable moment.
Rabble rouser right here, man.
Well, we're trying to win a World Series, Hugh. I mean, if
don't got
Dombrowski
time.
doesn't want to
I
get
can't
I already got
I
people
can't
on,
argue that.
people are on my tail too much about my Eagles doubts. I
Oh
can't.
no,
have
you're.
Did you come back the other way a little bit?
Well, no. I can feel him just lining up, waiting to pounce if the Phillies suck this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we had a
Can't
call
have it.
earlier saying that this was my fault that they're off to a 1-3 start.
It's
so.
always our fault.
Yeah, it is. All right, Jack, I think we got something here. And
Ask
I think
out Trout.
we need to push this. Ask out Trout. Come on, Hugh.
Can't believe you did that. Brought him in here to kind of try to jump out, to double team.
Well, I
you a little
needed
bit.
help.
Nah, I'm still on Rojas, man. I'm gonna get a young man a chance. It's
But
only
you-
4 games.
I know, but do you
I
hear
saw-
yourself?
I
You're
saw
on
it.
Johan
Yeah, I know.
Rojas compared to Mike Trout.
No, I hear you.
All-timer,
I hear you.
triple A player.
Listen, this is the hill that I choose to die on today. This is where I'm going.